and welcome to Sin and Steel. I'm your host, Sarah-Tonin, and for this one, we're joined by frontman, vocalist, and guitarist Mark Kennedy of Damnations Day, one of many killer bands on the lineup for this year's Drencher Fest, which is running on the 6th of September at Barwon Club in Geelong. Thank you so much for joining me, Mark.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, no, I'm very excited.
So I've seen a range of descriptions used for Damnations Day's music. So I thought an easy one to start off with would be, how do you describe and categorize your sound?
That's a good question. I guess for us, we kind of throw around the term like progressive power metal, maybe, or just progressive metal. I think we kind of sit in that. We've got elements of thrashy sort of influence, but then we've got elements of that really sort of progressive, early '90s, late '80s sort of power progressive metal, progressive rock. Me personally, I love like Jeff Tate, Queensryche, or Crimson Glory, or and then moving forward like early Evergrey and that sort of stuff's like really strong influence for me. And then obviously growing up as well, power metal, like I love like your Blind Guardians and your Iced Earth and that sort of stuff as well. So for me, that was a big influence in my songwriting and vocals as well. But I know that like my twin brother Dean, who's the drummer of the band, he was always into and I love them as well, but like strapping and a lot of Devon stuff and I mean we all grew up on Metallica and Iron Maiden, and I guess it's just there's a little bleed through of everything really. Like when we started off in the garage, like I was screaming a bit and singing clean, and then now it's mainly just clean singing now. So but yeah, I guess progressive power metal, I guess, or progressive metal.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And yeah, it's just really interesting because, I've seen all those sorts of things put in, like thrash leaning power, progressive thrash power. I've seen lots of different listings of all these words together, which isn't a bad thing. I feel like the best bands tend to have that bleed through into all those different spaces. And it shows all those different influences and the interests that you have in music as well.
Oh, for sure. And I think it opened up a lot of things for us as well in songwriting. When we wrote our first album, way back in, I'll probably get the year wrong, 2014, maybe, or 15, maybe 14. I don't know.
Feels like 2013, if the information was correct.
Well, no, that might be right. Like I said, I'm terrible with dates, but we wrote that album with all that stuff in mind, but we also wrote that album to write songs. So we thought we'd approach that album. It's our first album. Let's hit it hard. Back then it cost money, a lot of money to write and record an album, and we wanted to do it properly. So we always went in there thinking, we want it to be accessible. We don't want to lose integrity. It was always that, intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus. That was just the structure, and you can hear that in that first album. And we toured on that for quite a while after, and I think just having that, not letting that progressive side and that bleed through of influences go in that first album allowed us to write the second album, A World Awakens, and have a lot more freedom. And still sound like us. And I think that opens up the world of possibilities for what we want to do next as well. Because we want to progress. We want to progress with our life experiences. We want to progress with how things have changed. And I mean, things have changed. it's been a long time and a lot of stuff's changed.
Yeah. So that the last album you did was 2017, and you've had
Yeah,
quite a significant gap in not only the albums but live shows as well. So from what I saw,
yeah,
your last performance was 2019, except for a sneaky little acoustic show in December
yeah,
at
yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Boogeyman Bar.
We just wanted to see if we weren't even going to advertise it. We just wanted to just start the ball rolling in just
Yeah.
getting some live stuff going again. And I mean, 2019, we did a tour in 2018, and we were still touring that album, and we were still playing shows trying to promote that the 2017 album, and we were all lined up to record in 2020, and then
Okay.
obviously COVID hit and everything sort of changed, and um, we played a really great show in late 2019, not knowing that it was going to be our last for a really long time. So I mean,
Yeah.
there was thought for a little while whether that if that was our last show, then I mean that was a pretty fun one to go away with. It was like a collective of Geelong bands that we used to do once a year around Christmas time, and it was
Yeah.
always just a really really great time. But I think it was it gave us COVID was a weird one, obviously for everyone, but it gave us an opportunity to. I guess we focused on music for such a long time since me and my brother Dean were doing the band since we were 16,
Mm.
and I think we were about 30 at the time that 2019. So yeah, we would have been 30, and it just gave us that opportunity. I guess not that we knew we needed it. I don't know, like who knows where we could have been without COVID, but to just establish, I guess, a more stable life foundation,
Yep.
career and finished study
Yep.
and like I got married at the end of 2019, and COVID hit just as we come back from our honeymoon, and
Yeah.
since then even
Lucky you got out first.
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Johnny, the lead guitarist of the band, since then he's fully qualified in music production now, and which is going to
Awesome.
make the next album like really more accessible for us, and it give us a lot more time and breathing space as well. Dean's a teacher now, and finished his studies, and like
Yep.
yeah, and I finished all my studies, and I guess in a different way, we're lined up now to attack this from a completely different angle.
Mm.
Where when we were young, we lived in younger. I mean, we lived and breathed it. I'm pretty old. I feel like I'm old as now. Feel like we lived and breathed it. You feel like you spend every single dollar on music, and
Yep.
it was almost impossible to maintain without a full-time job.
Yeah.
And now we've got the opportunity to be a little bit wiser with it, and attack it from a different angle,
Yep.
and and try and navigate just how influential social media and stuff is to it all now. But we're
Yeah,
willing to
there'd
do
be a
that.
few
And
changes in that time, wouldn't there? I hadn't really thought about that
yeah,
part, but yeah.
well, I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of days ago about how much music's changed. How we were on the corners handing out demos back in the day,
Yep.
and that was how you got your music out, and
Yeah.
you sent physical copies to labels and all that sort of stuff, and then obviously that was pretty quickly turned to emailing and all that sort of stuff. But then your social media presence became a really, really important thing, and it
Yep.
started to become a really, really important thing around the time that it started to we had that gap, that break. So yeah, now it's time to sort of try and navigate that a bit better. It's
Learn
it's still not
some new
it's not
skills.
great at yeah, new skills. That's it.
New
Yeah,
skills.
I'm ready for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get my
But that's awesome. So did you guys know that you knew that you needed that little bit of a break to focus on all those things, but the plan was always to get back to it when the time was right and when you were ready?
I think I did. I think we didn't know we needed it. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Like, I mean, everything. I believe everything sort of happens for a reason. So I mean, you sort of take it in your stride. I probably needed a bit of a break,
Yeah.
uh, just to focus on, we were buying a house and do all that sort of stuff. But I never expected to be away from music this long.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us did. And it was always like, I think I might have been a little bit of the reason why it sort of took us a little bit longer to get back. I mean, Dean had a baby too, so that he'll say he was ready, but really, whenever he'd call me every day, he'd be like, "Hey, you ready to get back into this? You ready to do it again?" And then you'd hear his like baby crying in the background, and you're like, "I don't know if you're ready, bro," but we're always going to find our way back to it.
Yeah.
It's such a important part of our lives, and it was such a it's always been a calling for us. It's been and doing it with your twin brother as well. It's a whole different thing. It's like it's more than just I think there's more of a, there's a different type of connection there, I think, whether it be on stage or just being in a room and playing music. It doesn't even have to be a performance. It's I think we're always going to be drawn back to it. It was Clint from playing in the band Munitions. He was one of the ones that sort of really prompted. We were always thinking about it, but him giving us a message and just saying, "Hey, we want you guys on this, and you guys need to be doing this again." And that was a big, actually, driving factor for that last sort of nail in the coffin to say, we really need to be getting back into this. It's time. And it is time, and it feels good. You're right. It is time. I was just saying, it feels good. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. But how did that first performance go with getting back on stage? How did that feel for that acoustic set?
Well, I said the same thing after our first rehearsal with a full band.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we suck. But I don't know, it was like, it feels amazing. Like, it's so, I love being on stage. Like, I love singing in general. I just love that freedom it gives you. And I think one thing it highlighted was that, like, I never stop singing. I always will always be singing, but just how sometimes you forget how much of a rhythm you got into just performing so much. And like that second nature, and like how much things you think you'd never forget about playing, little things you did differently every live show. And then we rehearse or play, and you're like, oh my God, I don't even remember what I did there. Or you forget the lyrics. I always forget lyrics. So that's that's just normal for me. But
I was really curious about how your voice translates in the acoustic space, because you've got some very powerful vocals. So I was curious about how that translates when doing acoustic and what you have to do differently.
I think it's actually a bit of a relief sometimes, because sometimes you feel like you have to sing over the music a little bit. That's probably how I learned to sing with pretty full-on projection back in the day, before I sort of got a bit of formal training. It was because you're always singing in the backyard shed over really loud electric guitars or drums and stuff like that. So it was nice to pull back. It's a really good way to train your vocals as well, because you can find yourself sitting in a better spot for the longevity of a session. Like and it's you can find some different tones and different clarity in your voice as well. And it's nice. It's nice to be paired back every now and again. And it was nice to do it with the safety of Johnny next to me as well, because I was just forgetting everything. But it was fun. It was fun. He's he would say he was forgetting everything too, but I've never heard that guy miss a note. So
but ready to pelt it out and go full force for Drencher Fest.
Oh yeah. So keen. It's funny, like, we always talk about just how like amazing it feels to go back home and play. Connection to Geelong and the Barn Club. We played probably over 100 shows there, I reckon. Like, we've played there so many times. It's but it's also like, I mean, I always talk about like live performances as being so when you write a song, you might write it about something that's personal to you, but then playing it live, and if you can find enjoyment playing it live, you can find that release, and it's like the full circle.
Yep.
You can find closure in whatever you're singing or writing about, and if you're singing about something that might have been hard in the past, and you can enjoy that in its performance, then you can sort of feel like it's sort of some sort of therapeutic release.
Yeah.
And it's been 5 and a bit years since we've got the opportunity to be able to do that. So,
Yeah.
you know, it'll be a really good release, I think.
Yep.
I'm
No
really
pressure.
looking forward to it. No. I think this is the other thing about coming back. I mean, I am super nervous, but
it's a good show for it because it's just such a great little kind of community event, and there's so many people that trek out for it. You've only got people who want to be there, and it'll just be a great time.
Yeah, and Geelong's always been like that, like as well. For us growing up, we'd play on a Wednesday night, there'd be people there. You play on a Thursday night, there'd be people there. You play on a Sunday afternoon, there'd be people there. But the best thing about Geelong, and always has been, is that the lineup was never just a genre.
Yeah,
it was every type of heavy metal you could possibly imagine, all on the same night, whether it was 3 bands or 4 bands or a day like Drencher, and everyone just loves it. It doesn't matter. Like they just love being in the space of live music in a great, what used to be, and still like a pretty famous community for, you know, rock and roll and heavy metal. So
yeah,
it's just awesome. Yeah.
I love it. For the audience as well, if you haven't already checked it out, I did do an interview last year with Munitions. And as part of that, I spoke to Clint, who you mentioned, one of the organisers of Drencher Fest. So if anyone wants to get a little bit of background as to the show and how it started from Clint's perspective, you can jump across and check that one out. But for you, Mark, what are you most looking forward to about the show?
I just love live music.
Yeah.
Like whether it's going to a pop concert and watching Aurora. I actually saw Clint at that concert. And then or going to a local metal gig, you know, or seeing Iron Maiden a few months ago. Like I just and I think that's another thing COVID did. It stopped us from seeing live music for a really long time, and I didn't realize how much you could miss something until I, saw that first live band. I think the first live band I saw after COVID was actually Jeff Tate performing
awesome
Operation Mindcrime. I think it was Rage for Order performing Rage for Order, which was just absolutely unbelievable. And great way to get back into it. But I just can't wait to see some live bands. Like I've been checking them all out, and like Treebeard, for me, like that post metal, post rock sound, like that's sick. Like I can't wait to see that. And like Disgust look like they've got just a really cool show. Like and some really cool things going on. And I've been talking to a few of the other guys and some of the other bands, and they just all seem like really great dudes. So I'm really looking forward to just meeting them all and just checking out their music.
Yeah, awesome. I suppose I should cover the details again. So Drencher Fest, it's running at the Barwon Club in Geelong from 3 p.m. on Saturday, 6th of September. There's a great pub food, and I can definitely attest to that because last year I sat in the pit for Snake Mountain eating a Palmer, and my friend Luke was like hanging onto the table like his life depended on it. But most importantly, like you've said, there's just so many great bands. So it's going to be a really, really good night. So jump onto OzTix, grab a ticket, and come down for a rad day. But what else is on the horizon for Damnations Day? So you mentioned potentially some new music, and maybe that there was even music written already, ready to go.
Yeah. Well, I wrote quite a few demos over the COVID period. We didn't know what was going to happen, and so I'd never stopped writing. We're writing little bits and pieces at practice, and jamming out little sections and stuff. But I think we have to do it again. It feels unfinished. Everything feels unfinished. So we need to do. I say we need to. Yeah, we want to, but it does feel like a need. it will do another album. Hopefully, it would be something that we can get together and release by the end of next year.
Yep.
If not, it'll be well and truly on its way. What that looks like, we're not sure. We'll play some shows. We'll play as many shows as we bloody can. We'll get straight back into that. We might even play some new stuff live. But I think the end goal for us is, we want to release some more music.
Yep.
And we want to show everyone just a reflection of where we're at. And I think our last few albums have done that. Our first album showed us where we were at then. Our second album was a good reflection of where we were at. And I think we've really got a lot to give, a lot more to give. Yeah.
Amazing. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. Before we finish up, where can people find and support your music?
We're on everything. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We're on Amazon Music or whatever that's called. I think you find it through that. You can find it anywhere.
Yep. And you're now on Instagram.
We're now on Instagram. Finally, we had it for a really long time and we never posted anything. We're on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
But we're friendly dudes. If you ever want to reach out and PM us, we're always around too. So, but yeah, just hit up the plays, and you can still find some CDs around. I think there's someone found our very, very, very first EP from 2000 and it would have been the noughts, I reckon. But that was going on eBay for $20 or something like that. So I can't believe
that feels like something they're going to hang on to for $20. Why would you get rid of that? You've got to love when weird little things like that show up in people's collections, though, that feel like they've been lost to time, but they still exist. Yeah. People still have them.
Well, my nana's still got hers next to the CD player in her kitchen, so that's good. I don't think she's ever listened to it, though.
That's perfect. That's the only one that matters.
Yeah, well, the Andre Pacelli CD, it's pretty good next to it, but it's in good company.
That's so good. Now, look, thank you again so much for your time, Mark. I really appreciate it.
No, you're welcome.
And thank you to everyone tuning in to this episode of Sin and Steel. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to like, subscribe, and come down to Drencher Fest. Until next time, stay metal.